All right, welcome back to I Don't Know Shit About Music. Look at this, 2 weeks in a row. Don't call it a habit just yet. Don't call it a set schedule just yet. But here we are, second week in a row, episode 15. The podcast is God knows how many years old, and it can't be more than 2 years old, if that. Episode 15, ladies and gentlemen, folks, everybody out there. Boy, what a weekend and what a week since I've last spoken into this microphone. I now have another podcast, a more private podcast to say the least, with my wonderful girlfriend. We decided we need to hold ourselves accountable a little more, and a way to do that we thought would be to record ourselves more. And I kind of touched on this the last time, and we film ourselves now in the morning. We have a camera in our face because we didn't walk, or because we did walk, whatever it may be. This morning we did not walk. This afternoon will be different. We'll walk. And hopefully tomorrow morning will also be different. But God, it just did not feel right getting up this morning. But does it really ever feel right to get up? It truly doesn't. But we move on and we prosper, whatever, continue on into that. And Friday was a pretty good day. I had an open mic. I took a leap of faith, and for the first time just went to an open mic by myself without really anticipating anybody to be there with me. However, people still showed up. Some good friends of mine still showed up because my lovely girlfriend was busy. But I was like, if she's got plans, I'm going to make my own plans. I really have been wanting to play more open mics, and I did such a thing. And it was really good. I played Gossip About, kind of just trying to build whatever I could around that hype-wise. Like I said, I know I'm not really trying to market it hard. I'm not trying to push it out and make it huge or anything. I'm just trying to release music because it's something I enjoy doing, and I want it to be shown. And it's almost like, really the reason is behind this is I want to kind of have something there in case I ever disappear. And by disappear, I mean, wither away and die, or whatever may happen. But I also just love to make music, and I want that to be shown. And there's a philosophy that some people have of life is a beach, very cliche. However, we could take it a step further and say life is a beach, and everyone is a different part of that beach. Some people are a great big sand castle. Other people are just grains of sand on the beach, being a part of everything. And other people are debris and cigarette butts, but we don't talk about those people. And when I first heard that, I always thought, I would love to just be that big, beautiful sandcastle sitting on the edge of the shore there. But I don't know if that's a very good thing to wish for all the time, because, the tide can come in and melt it away and make it look all ugly. But a piece of sand remains a grain of sand. So, I could be a tree, I guess, whatever else is on the beach. But you guys get the point, and I'm kind of just rambling at this point. Essentially, I would like to leave my mark on this beach of life, however you would interpret that philosophy. And I consider myself just releasing music as, that's part of it. That is leaving my mark on the beach of life. So there it is. Opening this podcast with a very, philosophical take, very deep take. We're getting real on this week's I Don't Know Shit About Music. Episode 15 is when it all changed, man. It all went downhill after that. I don't know. But the open mic was really good. It was a lot of fun. Austin's Coffee, big shout out to them. That's where I usually go play the open mics, because it's very just a great environment to be in. I got there pretty early. Signups don't start till like 7:30, 7:45. I was there at 6:30, grabbed myself a coffee and just Wrote quite a bit in my journal. Wrote about 4 or 5 pages just about what's been going on. I mean, I haven't written since August, so I had a lot to kind of catch up on and try to keep it, somewhat concise, because you can only write so much before your hand starts to cramp or before you run out of time. So, I tried to catch up on that. And then Eric, the MC of the open mic night, came in, dropped his sign-up sheet down, and I put my name there. 9:45 p.m. And he's real good about keeping that on time, man. I mean, every time I sign up, I go on at the time I sign up for. And so I got to give him credit for that. He's been doing that for, I don't know how many years now. And, he's good at it. He's a real nice guy. He's got some good songs. I'm not sure if they're originals or what, because I don't really... I mean, I guess I could look it up, the power of the internet, but he's got this one he sings called $1 Million Bill. And whenever he does it, it's stuck in my head for weeks after, and it's still been stuck in my head. So, he's funny. He's a funny guy. He got good songs. So what more can you ask for, from an MC host? The talent there was great. I mean, there were a lot of good acts out there for an open mic. It's always like shocking when you start seeing people who are like excellent, and that's how I would describe a lot of these musicians up there. There was a lap steel guitarist who studied lap steel like in college, like that was his whole shindig, and he had this acoustic lap steel. I forget what it was called. I'm sure I could look it up as well, but whatever. And he played these beautiful, beautiful songs, and I mean, it was just very nice, very chill. And then there was this guy who came up with an auto harp, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, I've never seen an auto harp be played in person. I've seen videos of them, and I've seen pictures and everything, but this was my first time experiencing one, and it was electric. Dude plugged it in, and I was like, that's hilarious. And he was amazing. He got up there and he's like, I can't write songs, but I can arrange them very well. And he had arranged 2 songs. The first one was like Stupid Tears or something, and but man, it was so good. His voice was amazing. A very animated character. The second song was a Bob Dylan tune that I actually didn't know. He wrote it for Johnny Cash. And of course that name escapes me too. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really it's Monday. Monday after daylight savings, regardless of whether we gain or lose an hour, it always screws me up. So this is the repercussions of that. But man, he has a hell of a voice. And then there were 2 acts. The night started, and I don't want to shit on anybody, but the night started good. Like, there was the first guy up there, or first gal up there, was solid. You could tell it was one of her first times, but she still did really well, and the talent just kind of elevated from there. One person after the other, people were just getting better, and I was getting more nervous. And I should have more confidence in myself, yes, but when you see these people going up there with these unique acts like the auto harp or the lap steel, you're a little like, oh, I don't have anything to... I mean, I do play harmonica with it, so I guess I gotta give myself some credit, but still. The 2 acts before me, that's when I started to feel real comfortable, because let's say the quality dipped. This guy got up there and he was just like, my favorite artist is Joji, so I'm gonna play a Joji song. And he just sang so quietly, played the guitar. So, I mean, I'm just being a hater, but what? Who cares? He played guitar so weirdly, like, I don't know. Not for me. How about that? Let's say that. It wasn't for me, personally. I'm sure there's people out there that like it. And I'm not saying Joji's not for me. I'm not saying his music is bad. I'm saying the cover artist. And he played 2 originals after, and I was also just like, you're missing your mark, my dude. And then the next lady was interesting. I wouldn't say she had less talent. I just think it didn't really fit, and maybe she needed a full orchestra behind her, because she stood up with a clarinet, played a melody, then started singing a cappella. So it was very interesting. And then for her second song, she put the clarinet down and pulled out a moleskin journal and just started singing from whatever she had written. I remember the clarinet song was a Dido song. It kind of sounds like if you're blue and you don't know where to go to. It's like Putting on the Ritz, but it wasn't that song, because it was a Dido song, obviously, not Fred Astaire or Gary Newman. But she was good, all things considered. She was probably like in her 60s. So that's what I like about Austin's, is it really brings out pretty much every sort of musician and every sort of person. There isn't a lot of spoken word or poetry. I mean, I haven't seen a single one yet, but what's going on? My computer just went dim. Oh, we're good. We're good. Sorry about that. Whatever. But that's what I like about Austin's. It's very, it's unique in that sense, to say the least. So that was pretty cool. And the next morning, my lovely girlfriend and I got up and decided we would like to get some acai bowls for breakfast / lunch. And I am allergic to fresh fruit and vegetables, believe it or not. I mean, I have a very crazy allergy where I have the normal allergies, like pollen and all that. But then there's a pollen that lives in fruit and vegetables, anything that really grows, that is destroyed by heat. So if you cook it, it's fine. Like, I love cooked veggies all the time. But anything fresh will make my throat itch, make my tongue itch. You get the thing in your ear where you're like poking your ear trying to scratch it, but it's not doing anything. I've had times where I've broken out in hives. It's giving me stomach aches. You see where this is going. I took a Zyrtec before we went, because I was like, I want a good bowl of fruit. I want to start being a little healthier or something, just eat some healthier sugars. And I wasn't going to do the acai. They had a yogurt base, and I was just going to be like, all right, I'll do the yogurt base and I'll get fresh fruit, but I won't do the acai base and really screw myself. Didn't matter. The Zyrtec prevented my throat and tongue from itching and being all whatever. And I felt very full. I was like, this was a great meal. I'm glad we did this. I felt healthy. And we get back to her place. She leaves because she went to go do stuff with her friends. And I'm sitting there watching her cat, or our cat, I should say. It's our son now, Dolly. But my stomach starts to churn, just in knots. And I'm like, oh, brother, I feel like doo-doo garb. And I tried going to the bathroom. I tried, drinking extra water. Nothing was helping. My stomach was locked up and just upset at me. Real pissed. Like, why the fuck did you never eat fruit, and here you are eating 6 pounds of it in one serving. What the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm like, it tasted good at least, right? So that stomach ache lasted from about noon or 1 p.m. that day till, I would say, 7 or 8 p.m. Sunday. So for over 24 hours, I was dealing with this stomach ache. I was up nearly all Saturday night, which was the goddamn time change too. So I was like, and I didn't know it at the time. It wasn't until the next morning that I was like, this was the longest night of my life. And then I realized I had an extra hour of it. That's why. Of just throwing up. Not throwing up. I don't know why I said that. My stomach just was killing me, and I was running to the bathroom it seemed like every hour. Every time I look at my phone, I was like, God bless. But I survived, and here I am, episode 15, 2 weeks in a row. A weekend-long stomach ache is not going to stop me, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone's like, please stop. No, I know that's not the case. I don't think there's any opinions of this show yet. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe by episode 20, we'll get some public opinion coming in. I did have somebody write in to my Instagram wanting to come on as a guest, and I was like, oh, I'd love that. But this was months ago, whenever the episode 13 came out, so a couple months ago, to say the least. And I've just been so busy since. I have not even gotten a chance to get back to him. We talked a little bit about trying to set up a time, but I just haven't been. So if you're listening to this, and we know you are, I'm sorry that I have not been able to get back to you. Life has been a little wacky, to say the least. And I've just been trying to get other affairs in order. Like, I really, God, I have a fucking addiction to Fallout New Vegas that I gotta curb. I can't stop playing that game, and I looks like I'm coming to the end of it. I have 90 hours in this fucking game, probably almost 100 now, and I've just been doing so many side quests, trying to get everything, lined up so I could finish it off, because I don't know the ending for sure, but I think I know it. I think I know what happens. And because just, it's a 14-year-old game or whatever. So it's been spoiled. But I have very good selective memory where I'm able to just try and forget. And I think I've forgotten. But if what I think happens, I won't be surprised. And I will be a little disappointed. Much in the way of like the Cyberpunk ending. And this is, or Outer Worlds. These aren't spoilers. This is just in Cyberpunk, Outer Worlds, and from what I've heard, Fallout New Vegas, and I believe Fallout 3. It ends, and it ends. It's not like Skyrim where you do the main quest and you can just continue from there. In both of those games, or in all of those other games, it's like the story ends and the game ends, and you can go back to your most recent save, or one of your most recent saves, any of the saves, and play from there. But if you do that final mission, the game is over. And that just kind of like, especially with Cyberpunk, it left me very much feeling like I didn't need to play anymore, and I still had plenty to do. I mean, Cyberpunk has a lot of content, and I was just like, the game's over. Same with Outer Worlds. I felt like I had so much more to do in Outer Worlds, and I was like, game feels over to me. And sometimes I guess it makes sense, like story-wise, to end it, but especially with Cyberpunk having DLC coming out, I don't know. There was just a lot of... I mean, we could go on a whole podcast series about Cyberpunk. It's so troublesome, to say the least. But once I build my new PC, I will be doing another playthrough of Cyberpunk, and I might stream it. I don't know. The problem with streaming is I want to play even when I'm not streaming, so it's like very hard to do. I want to do the same thing with New Vegas. Like, I've been looking to I've kind of started a Timbuktu Twitch channel, but I've barely used it. And my main idea is I want to just stream older games, just because why not? Like, nobody's streaming them anymore, so it's kind of funny that way. Probably nobody will watch them, but that's fine with me. I don't care. I'm just trying to play, and if 5 people watch and interact with the chat, whoop-de-doo. That's fun with me. That's so be it, to say the least. But yeah, as I got off on a tangent there, as I was saying, life has been a little wacky, so sorry I haven't gotten back to you. I hope we can set something up later. I just feel like right now is not exactly the time, because it's very, very crazy to just get anything scheduled between work and everything. And now with the holidays and everything, shit is just getting so crazy. I mean, I look at my calendar and I'm like, when is my next free weekend? I don't have a free weekend in November at all. And December is almost just as booked. So it's like... Whatever, man. January's my time. And at work, I'm hustling. I'm trying to show up as much as possible. I know it sounds weird, but I work hybrid, so it's like, the more I'm in office, the more they see my face. So the more they'll be like, oh, let's get this kid on something. Let's get him to do something. And then sooner or later, they promote me, and I get health insurance. Woo! Being an adult, turning 26. What a fiasco, to say the least. And I need to put this microphone away, and I need to fucking dust this shit, because every time I talk into it, I get the worst allergies, because I'm just inhaling dust like an idiot. This podcast is brought to you by Earl Grey tea. Slurp. I was very scared I was going to burn myself, and that would have sucked. But I did not. Anyways, fruit allergies fucking suck. I hate it. And I probably could have done it a little better had I, maybe just ate fruit more often. But the problem is, it just makes my throat fucking itch, and I've had my tongue swell. I've had hives break out. It's just, stomach aches are super common. It's like, come on, man. Being healthy is fucking difficult. Like, why? Why's it got to be so hard? It feels like, I don't know, it feels like my body should reject a fucking ho-ho a lot more than it rejects a strawberry. I mean, Jesus Christ. Anyways, speaking of rejection, the Twitter dumpster fire going on right now is absolutely insane. And I'm sure this is everybody's topic of choice right now, but this morning I woke up and saw that elongated muskrat is not or is banning people that are impersonating him, even though he tweeted out parody accounts are okay. So I saw H3H3, Ethan Klein, Ethan and Hila, one of my favorite YouTube channels back in the day, H3H3, before the pre-podcast, of course. H3 podcast is when shit went downhill because I feel like they really just started to do shit for likes and for views and kind of fell to the wayside of all the people they used to make fun of, like Prank Invasion and everybody else, but Keemstar. And I don't know, I didn't get to see what... Ethan tweeted something. He changed the name, not the but the name of his Twitter to Elon Musk, and then changed his profile picture to Elon Musk's profile picture and said something to the effect of Ghislaine Maxwell is a very lovely woman, blah, 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 and hashtag free Ghislaine or something crazy. Again, another typical Ethan Klein stunt. Like, I feel like the man has really kind of fallen off in that sense, but nothing about that really was... Oh, he also changed his bio to say parody account and changed the Twitter header and his profile to say parody account. Pretty evident that it was a parody account, I'd say, but permanently banned after Elon Musk has talked about getting, Trump back on, and I think Marjorie Taylor, or whatever her name is, back on. And it's like, where's the line here? And it's like crazy that the people, I mean, the use of the N-word skyrocketed after Elon Musk took over. There's statistics about that on Twitter that people were tweeting a lot more with the hard R N-word. And I mean, what's going on here where people feel like they can tweet racist ass shit, and that's fine in the eyes of Elon Musk, or should I say in the eyes of Twitter moderator, whoever that may be, because he fired the whole damn thing. And I'm not shitting on the way I think Twitter needed a revamp, but really, you're beating a dead horse, man. Social media feels like just one big advertisement anymore. Being completely honest, it's hard to follow people you know. It's hard to see the posts from people you know, because everything is just so bogged down with corporate and polished things, and it's like, I don't know if that's the vibe anymore, man. Like, I don't know. It's things are changing, but besides the point. Crazy that we can live in a world where people are tweeting racist ass shit and anti-Semitic shit too. I mean, is Kanye's Twitter still up? Let's see, shall we? Twitter.com. Kanye. I don't even know how you would find his Twitter. Kyrie Irving's still there. Funny, when you search Kanye, the top two people to come up are Kyrie Irving, funny, and Elon Musk, very funny. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing Kanye West was removed from Madame Tussauds wax museum for anti-Semitism, but Hitler's still in there. That's pretty funny. I don't know how true that is. If I'm just spreading shit, that sucks. But yeah, it doesn't look like he has a Twitter anymore. Yeah, just a lot of fan accounts. That makes sense. I don't know how Kyrie Irving's still there. I mean, Kyrie Irving is maybe because he has less influence, but he's on the same thing. And now we're getting, oh my gosh, this is off topic, but I just got an email and we are apparently getting another hurricane, ladies and gentlemen, in November. Woo! We did it. We're getting a late year hurricane. And there might be a chance I have to work the hurricane helpline again. And that was a great time. But that's just a little interjection. Basically, I just can't believe the state Twitter is in. I mean, I guess I can believe it. It's always been kind of a shit show. But now, man, it's really on one. So we'll see what happens with Twitter. There's people like Jack Dorsey's talking about it. He's starting his own social media. I mean, good luck. Really, truly good luck. I don't know. I thought about this for a while now. I'm thinking, I felt like there was a period where there was a brand new social media network every 6 months. Of course, there was MySpace, and there's the classics, MySpace and AOL Instant Messenger for you Zoomers out there. But then there was Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram. I mean, YouTube is practically a fucking social media site now. All these coming up. Flickr. Remember Flickr? Pinterest. I mean, all these things coming out at once and very oversaturated. And then it came down to what I feel like was the big three of Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. But I mean, I don't know where you could go for a new social media. I mean, it feels like it's just all been done. Maybe that's really negative thinking. I know there's Be Real out there now where it sends you a notification to randomly use both your cameras at the same time of wherever you and take a picture of wherever you are, whatever you're doing. And that seems pretty meme. But it really only seems like a step forward from Yik Yak and Yeti. Was it Yeti? Is that what it was called? Whatever those like text sharing, image sharing, anonymous things were. It just feels like more of the same, really. So I really don't know where to go to from here. I mean, social media is at a crossroads, especially with just the amount of shit that is in social media. I mean, Facebook is a fucking cesspool. Twitter is a cesspool. Instagram's a cesspool. I mean, these goddamn Minion memes that is like Minion memes I've always had a problem with. And my girlfriend Vanessa will say, let the soccer moms have their memes. And it's like, it's not just that. I feel like there's been some really shitty things said with a minion slapped on it. There's been just really shitty memes with like an American flag posted on it. Like, if you don't stand for this, then you're a tranny, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, what the fuck? And it's like there's a skull and the skeleton's holding a shotgun. Or my favorite is when they're holding an AK-47 and it's like, if you're not American, get off my timeline. And it's like, bro, the AK-47 is not an American gun. In fact, it's kind of the enemy's gun. So we shouldn't be, putting that in front of an American flag. And also, why is it a skeleton? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of garbage, and I unfortunately have people in my Facebook feed, family members and friends that share shit like that and fully believe it. I mean, I remember when the Supreme Court fully legitimized and legalized gay marriage. I had somebody, I'm not going to say who because it would be too easy to fucking narrow it down. Somebody on my Facebook feed was sharing like, oh, if you support this, get out of my country. And like, the very hypocritical ass shit where it's like, bro, you're like, you sit in a recliner and watch movies all day. Like, what do you mean? Why does this matter to you? Like, if anything, you should be on the side that wants more healthcare and more cushiness, because what do you do? What do you do all day? Besides post fucking homophobic, racist Facebook memes all day and watch movies in a recliner. And you probably got bed sores. Oh, man, I'm being mean. But it is what it is, man. Like, I don't understand why people got to be so hateful on their Facebook feeds. And they got to share some crazy, whacked out conspiracy theory-ass shit. And it's like, bro, just take it easy. And it's always like the stuff that's very much like, it feels like a distraction. And I've been saying this about abortion in the past couple months, where there was Roe v. Wade was overturned and people were all up in arms. Why the fuck was it overturned? Like, it's been that way since, way before I was born. And I know I'm technically on the younger side. I feel old. I feel ancient, but I don't understand why that had to change. All you're doing is stirring people up, and truly, it is the most, like, there's no cloak anymore. It's like been revealed. This looks like a distraction, and if it feels very much like a distraction. And what is going on that we are so caught up in abortion? Kanye West tweets about going DEFCON on people, and I mean, and there's so much shit about like gay rights and everything, and it's like, what if we just kind of said, okay, well, if it doesn't affect me, A, I can't really speak on it, and B, you could just go ahead and do it. Like, I never understood that about when people were against gay marriage. It's like, bro, you've been divorced 4 fucking times. Obviously, marriage isn't some holy, thing that you hold to the highest regard. If you've done it 4 fucking times, and you cheat on your partners and you do all kinds of wacky shit, like, it's like, this is, I don't know, it just all seems very weird. Another Earl Grey break, sorry. Throat's hurting, all this dust inhalation I'm doing. But truly, I don't understand people, man. I don't understand why their Facebook feeds have to be used for hate, and spreading lies really is a huge thing. I mean, I've just seen some wacky shit, and just some really like backwards thinking. I'm like, it's not the 50s anymore. It's not the 90s anymore. Like, we're moving forward, and if you're not keeping up, you're falling off. And I don't know how sorry I am to lose you if you're not keeping up. I mean, now there's pushback's okay in certain times. Like, I don't think we should be making everyone lean a certain way or making everyone be a certain way, whatever. You can be your own person, but if somebody wants to be gay, let them be gay. If somebody wants to have an abortion, let them kill the baby or whatever the fuck you want to say. Who cares? It doesn't affect you, man. Like, it truly does not. And like, they can make the argument that this kid's gonna grow up and cure cancer. Bro, if the mom is trying to get an abortion, this kid will not be in an environment that could support, the next brainchild. Like, it just isn't. It's not gonna add up. And I'm sure, like, there's a possibility that could happen, but truly, it wouldn't. It just really would not. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me why you get so involved. And I feel like the people that do get so involved get involved out of a place of insecurity or, judgment, where they're almost just upset with themselves. It's like, that's really where it feels like a lot of this hatred comes from. It's like, these people are just so upset with themselves, so upset with the way their lives turned out. And the only way they can make themselves feel better is by turning that anger and hatred outwards. And truly, it's on them, man. Maybe it's on the life they were born into or whatever. But at a certain point, you got to stop blaming your parents. You got to stop blaming your surroundings. And you got to realize that you have control over yourself. And you have control to change your environment and be a better person. Because really, what the fuck else are you doing? Watching movies in a recliner all day, spreading homophobic bullshit. Like, come on, get out of here. Get out of here with that shit. Miss me with that shit. Another Earl Grey break. Who is Earl Grey? I'd like to meet this fella. Makes a mean tea. Really like his tea. Honestly, it's probably the only tea I drink. I can't stand any other tea. English breakfast, I'll drink it. And regular, what's that, Lipton black tea, it's fine. But God bless. Any type of spice or chai or green tea, I hate it all, man. Green tea tastes like fucking rubber. Chai tastes like I'm drinking a fucking bowl of potpourri. Poopy? I don't know. Now I'm fucking rambling. And we're going to reel it back in here. And I guess we could talk about music a little more. I got a mix. I'm wrapping up a mix for a song called Voodoo Man. I am torn between whether I should do a talkbox solo in it or not. I have a talkbox solo recorded I really like, but I don't have a replacement solo without the talkbox recorded that I really like. So I don't know which way to go with this. So, we'll see. But basically, I'm wrapping that up, and that should be pretty good. Pretty good. And I'm happy. I'm really happy with how it's coming out. And I played that live at Austin's Coffee as well. And then I also played a cover of All Along the Watchtower. So it was Gossip About, All Along the Watchtower with harmonica. Voodoo Man with harmonica. And towards the end of Voodoo Man, broke a fucking string. Was able to carry through because I'm a goddamn professional and finish the song. And Eric, the MC, came up and he's like, you got more time. You want to borrow my guitar and do one more? And I was like, hell yeah, man. Like, I won't say no. So I did a song I wrote alone in Kentucky. Got off stage, went back to my friends and chatted with them for a bit. And one of them seemed stunned and shocked. I mean, he hadn't heard me play since when the Wasp probably played live in March of 2021. So it's been over a year and a half since he's heard me play live. He's seen a video, but I posted on Instagram and stuff like that, but he's never seen it in person. And he was like, dude, when did you get good? And I was like, fuck you, first of all. But I appreciate the vote of confidence that I am getting better, because that is good to hear. It would really suck if I was getting worse. But he said not only does my voice sound smoother, my stage presence is getting better. I seem very comfortable and confident. And I blamed the PBRs I had before. But I do feel more and more comfortable up there. And I feel like I'm getting better at just speaking. Because I've always been okay with it. But a lot of times I've had pre-prepared stuff, like... Especially like the real things I can think of are presentations in college and things like that, where I had notes and I practiced in a mirror and stuff like that. But now it's like I'm kind of going off the cuff with these performances, talking about the songs I've written, talking about the songs I'm going to perform and everything, and when it's coming out, being goofy, because like I like to include a little bit of humor. Like I'm trying to make people laugh, even if my songs aren't funny, because I don't know. I'm up there. I'm up there to perform my art and my craft, but I'm also there to entertain. So it's all about mixing the two of those as best as I can. And I feel like I'm getting the hang of it a lot more than I was a year ago, and hopefully a year from now it'll be even better. So that is kind of where we're heading. I have another song I've been thinking about recording. I tried recording it already, but it was fully acoustic, and I just could not keep the beat for whatever reason. I'm thinking I'm going to start it acoustic and have it sound like an old blues song, like they used to play on the parlor guitars, and then have it stop and go into just fully electric, much like Voodoo Man. I just think being heavier is my forte, where I was doing things fully acoustic, a little lighter, maybe no drums, keep it very simple. But I'm like, I don't think that's where my forte lies, especially what I was trying to do, like, I guess Western country music. And it's like, I don't know. I can still do that, and I can do that just fine. And I think what I'm doing is I'm taking that and putting it into my heavier stuff, because I just enjoy doing heavier things, like even Gossip About, despite the whole song being on an acoustic guitar, the solos aren't. There's drums, there's a bass, and Voodoo Man has no acoustic guitar. And this is like the 7th or 8th time I've recorded it. I think I mentioned it in the last episode, where it's like I had Voodoo Man 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then like on this one, this last time I started recording it, I titled the folder and the file Voodoo Man, please be this one. For the love of God. No, like I can't make it. I was like, if this isn't it, I'm not recording it again. Like it's done. Because I just can't, then I truly cannot find a way to go with it. And I think I really did find a way to go now. And I drew in the drums myself, like, because recording drums is a pain in the ass, and I have a MIDI keyboard, so I started just by putting the skeleton drums there, basically, the rhythm and the beat, and then I went through and tried to put in fills wherever I felt like a fill would be really good, and I think it just came out pretty well, and now I'm wrapping up the mixing on that. I'd like to start recording another song today, if I can get to it, called Don't Worry. Kind of inspired from I was jamming with this guy for a little bit, and while we were jamming, his girlfriend kind of dumped him, and a little bit inspired from that, inspired from a little bit of my breakups. One of those heartbreak songs, but I think it's hard. It goes heavy, goes hard, whatever the kids say these days, and I think it sounds really good. I showed it to Vanessa, and she was a fan. She was a big fan. So things are looking up. Things are on the upswing, though I could hardly ever see. That's a good song, Pretty Green by White Denim. Check it out. I haven't done a music recommendations in a while, so let's pop open my Spotify here. Pretty Green by White Denim. There you go. There's a rec. I've been listening to a lot of Guns N' Roses lately, which I guess is no surprise, but I always recommend Guns N' Roses. Let's see. Broken Bells is a really good band. They have a song called The High Road I could recommend. I'm sure many people know who Flume is. They, back in the day, I think they were a lot better. 2012, 2014, that time. I think he just went a little poppy, trying to stay relevant, which is fine. But he had a song with Chet Faker called Drop the Game. Excellent song. I'm sure some of you know it. These aren't like small songs I'm naming, but Fallen Fruit off Lord's newest album, Solar Power. Pretty good. Pretty good. Playing the Fool by the Lostines or Lostines. I don't know how you'd pronounce this. Lostines. It has just over 500,000 plays on Spotify. Very excellent song. Playing the Fool. I should be better about this, and I should drop the links in the YouTube description. I don't know how many people actually listen on YouTube or Spotify or whatever. I wish Spotify's starting to up their engagement on their podcast. I think you can add polls now, or you can add a question or something. But really, I want a comment section. And a lot of podcasters have been talking about that. They want a comment section, and I don't fucking blame them, dude. Like, there's a lot to talk about in a podcast. There's a lot I'd like to hear. Even the podcasts I listen to, I'd like, if I'm on Spotify, like, say I'm driving or something, I really only listen to podcasts on YouTube when I'm at my computer, because I got ad block and all that other shit. And I mean, most podcasters bake the ads into their videos, and I don't mind that, because everybody uses ad block on YouTube, because the ads on YouTube fucking suck. And I have heard YouTubers talk about how it's not YouTube itself, it's the content creator that picks like what kind of ads can go there. But it's just like, I don't want to have to, especially on a fucking TV. That is the most annoying shit. Or like if I'm watching on a Xbox or PS4 or PS5, whatever, like, and you're watching a YouTube video and the controller turns off, and you're like, the fucking ad's coming up, and you got like 5 seconds to skip it until you can skip it, and it's like, okay, I'm turning the controller on, and it's like, oh my god. I don't know, maybe first world problems, but regardless, it's a pain in the ass. I don't mind having baked in ads, especially from podcasters I liked, because I feel like they make the ads kind of funny. I mean, Bill Burr is an excellent example of how he does his advertising and keeps it entertaining. Like, he makes up little jingles he's got a MeUndies jingle, he's got a ZipRecruiter thing. Like, he does things with certain ads, and I'm like, this is funny. And I don't actually mind listening to these advertisements. So, I think there's a way to go about advertising in podcasts, and there's a way to not go about advertising in general on YouTube. And blame the creator, blame YouTube, whoever you want to blame. I just think, in a world where every fucking thing is advertising anymore, that's what I said about social media. It feels like social media is just one big advertisement. It feels like I'm scrolling through a giant billboard, and occasionally I'll see a friend or someone I know. It's like my personal Instagram, while yes, I do follow a lot of bands and shit, it's a lot of branded content. And it's not a lot of what my friend had for lunch yesterday. And I know people don't post like that on social media much anymore, but I don't know. There was something innocent about that time. Something real calming about hopping on and seeing my friend's burnt chicken piccata and him rating the recipe, saying it was a garbage recipe, and I was like, you clearly burnt it. But I digress, and I don't know, it was a simpler time back then. Anyways, before we go down too far down memory lane, I'm going to go ahead and end this at the 45-ish minute mark. I want to thank you guys for listening, and I will see you guys next Monday.